Beauty. Is it a line? A shape? A formula? How can science and medical innovations redraw a new world of beauty? Since 1978, PhilMed has drawn and created new territories. For the first time, we put emphasis not only on wrinkles, but on skin quality with the NCTF, a unique formula based on hyaluronic acid, CE marked in 2006. Since then, NCTF became a must and is often used in aesthetic protocols. In 2014, PhilMed created a new formula with trihyal technology, associating 3 types of hyaluronic acid. This gave integrated skincare with skin perfusion to complete aesthetic procedures. Always concerned with women's expectations, we conducted a survey based on the Rosenberg scale to ascertain the impact of dermal filling on self-esteem. This was a first. In 2019, we innovated once again with NanoSoft, a new experience of injection, the smallest needle on the market. Today, we enter the era of positive pro-aging to put time on your side. Let's draw a new chapter.
Morning, everybody. I just love that video, don't you? So hi guys, I'm Rebecca, for those of you that don't know me. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an outline of what we're hoping to achieve in the next 45 minutes before I introduce the wonderful Jason Gale. So first and foremost, this is just to really reiterate that this is not meant to be a training session by any stretch, but it is just an opportunity for you guys to discover PhilMed a little bit more, to just outline some of our unique protocols, and just to give you some routine really to your week. So every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, you can join us at 10:30 and we'll have some special guests and experts to talk you through your morning. We've got a variety of different sessions. So obviously today is more based around your businesses and how we can help support them in the plan for reopening and keeping your brand alive, most importantly, during these days. But this Friday, you can join us for an open expert panel where everybody will be here just waiting to answer your questions, really, anything industry relevant. So I'm going to talk you through how to get the best out of this session, just how to utilize Zoom so you get the best view. And then I'm going to introduce you to our family as well, our PhilMed team. Any questions and answers, please feel free to add them in the chat as we go along, or you can pop them to me on my phone there. You can use my number, send me a WhatsApp or a message and I'll be reading them throughout, ready to ask Jason at the end. Okay, so the best way to get the use out of this Zoom tool, at the top of the screen, you should be seeing now you are viewing Rebecca's screen and a view options. Now, if you want to just click that to 50%, you'll see that the presentation will shrink down slightly, but you'll also get a lovely view of Jason and myself in a video in the corner. You can also switch between the presentation and the speaker by using this little icon on the top of the video section here. So please feel free to adapt your screen if you wish. And then in terms of chat, to ask you questions at the end, if you just hover your mouse on the bottom of your screen, this little bar will pop up and you can access the chat menu there, ready to ask questions as we go through. Now, just to introduce our team, because there are a few new members this year, So there's myself, I've been around for 4 years now working for FilmEd, but we've got brand new recruits, Amy Williams and Jennifer Kinney. Really, really happy to have these girls on board. Amy's working in the south as a regional account manager, and Jenny's up in the north as well. So I can share their details with you, but please do screenshot this page if you want to pop them an email to make contact with them. And then we've also got Lisbel. She works for customer service and administration. So she's a lot more working in the background for us. So you won't often see her unless you join us on one of our dedicated training days where she's always there to help us out. Then our experts, so these are the people that you're going to be meeting properly on the web over the next few days and weeks to come. We've got Debbie Rainbow and Dr. Philippe Hamida Pizal. So these people are our medical experts, so they can talk to you about all of our injectables, art filler, etc., as well as the rest of the skincare range. Monday, we had the pleasure of Andrew Hansford talking to us about combination treatments, and he's our skin expert and international educator. Then today, you're going to have the pleasure of listening to Jason Gale. So we work with Jason in partnership with him to help support your businesses from a communications and marketing aspect. So I'm sure you're going to have lots of questions for him at the end of today. Just two other partners that we work with. So for medical professionals, you can access all of our support, marketing, downloads, and you can buy product even now through the filmed.co.uk website. The same goes for our beauty therapists. You can access those resources using the filmed.co.uk website. However, if you do want to purchase product, you need to go through the Cosmedi website, which you can also be directed to through our main website. So ultimately, the reason we're here for you. And without further ado, let me introduce Jason Gale.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's well. Thank you for joining. Actually, I realise there's a lot on Netflix at the moment, but you've decided to join us, which I think is a great decision. So thank you for that. I appreciate your time. Let me try and share my screen.
Oh.
Businesses, celebrities for the last 27 years. Many people know me as a creator of the London Lifestyle Awards, which is something else that I'm passionate and do. And I'm working with FilmEd basically to help you. And FilmEd are very, very keen to partner with you and help you, especially at this difficult time. So that's who I am. I'm going to make some assumptions for this video. One is that you own, manage, work in the beauty business. You have a basic knowledge of marketing, as most people do, but you're not an expert. It's very, very difficult when you present in a webinar like this to know how well, your knowledge, your expertise. So I'm presuming you're not expert marketeers, and this is why you've tuned in. You have worked out ways to enable your business to develop enough cash to get through these next few months. What I don't want to do is build up some frustration, saying it's okay for you to say that, but I can't pay my rent this month. Oh, I can't pay my suppliers, etc., etc. But I know it's hugely difficult at the moment. It's difficult for my business. But what I'm going to presume for this webinar is that you've worked out how to pay your overheads for the next month or two. And also, I'd love it. Don't leave the screen, but I'd love it if you have a pen and paper ready, handy, because I may give you a little bit of homework as we're going through the slides and the presentation. So my beliefs are this situation will end. I think we all believe that. And I think we'll be vastly improved to 6 to 8 weeks. So the focus of what I'm talking about today, I'm literally talking about the next 4, 6, 8 weeks. I also believe that some great can come out of this situation for your business. I do think it's a time that we can actually work on the business and not in the business. I also believe that businesses that use this time to brand build will have a better chance of success when they come out of this period. I always believe this, but the gap between those who do and those who don't will get larger. So what I mean by those that do and those that don't is those that do marketing. I'm a massive, massive believer in marketing, obviously, and the gap will get larger through this period. And I also believe the world will never be the same again. I see this all the time, and I'm an avid reader and watcher social media, and I can see change in attitudes. It's never, ever going to be the same again. So let's start talking about business. As I see it, there's three types of business, and we usually fall into one of these three categories. One of the types of business is we will do this for you. And a lot of you that are on this call, on this webinar, this is what you do. You usually do, we will do this for you. Somebody comes into your clinic or your beauty salon and you do things for them. Some businesses are, we will do this with you. I see FilmMed as that. FilmMed is a business that works alongside you and helps you achieve great benefits for your clients. So FilmMed do this with you. And some business are do it yourself. So they just send you a product and then that's it. For this period of time, while we're in lockdown, we will do this for you type of business is very, very difficult to do. So what you've got to do is pivot into, we will do this with you. So more and more, it's more important that you and your clients work together closer than you ever have. So I don't see you actually now in the beauty business. I think your primary concern now, you are in the relationship business. I want you to think about you developing a relationship with your clients and possible clients. So you're in the relationship business. And like if you're going on a date or you're in a relationship or whatever, there's certain things that you've got to adhere to. You've got to look as good as possible. So you've got to make yourself look good. You have to be supportive. Nobody wants an unsupportive partner. You've got to be authentic. You've got to be authentic with all your messaging, whether that is in a relationship or that's in a client relationship. You have to give good conversation. Nobody likes to go out for dinner with somebody they've got nothing to say. And most importantly, for this period, you've got to give love. We've got to be giving love. So I'm a big advocate. I talk often about brand, and I could talk for hours and hours about brand. And if any of you want to listen to me at some point, drop me a line and I will talk to you about brand. But let's cover some of the basics. Brand is not your logo. Brand is not the front of your shop or the front of your clinic. Brand is you. Brand is everything around you. Your logo is included the front of the shop, the towels that you use in the salon or the clinic, the way that you present yourself online, the way that you present yourself to clients. Everything is encompassed in brand. And brand should always be built on what is your why. And I am skirting through this quite quickly, so we've got a lot of areas that I want to cover. But in times like this, what you need to do is really think about what your why is. Why did you get into business? Now, some of you might say, I got into business to make money, but did you really? There's actually easier ways to make money than aesthetics business or a beauty business. There are actually easier ways. There's an underlying why you got into business, whether it's to help confidence of your clients because you want to give love. What is your why? What are you actually doing? So part of that is, what are your brand values? These are things that I want you to be thinking about for underpinning your communication. So what are your brand values? What do you really care about? What actually exists constantly, whether your shop, salon, clinic is open or it's closed and you're just existing in other arenas, other areas. So what are your brand values? And leading on from that, what are your brand characteristics? How do you express those brand values? You know, is your brand, does it have humor? Is it very serious? Is it very clinical? You know, what are your brand characteristics that represent, that project your brand values that are attached to your why? So remember your why, be authentic to your values and consistent in your characteristics throughout all your communication. So we're going to go into ways of communicating to your clients and your potential clients. But I want you to always consider these things: the why, the values, the characteristics. So there's going to be 6 areas of focus we're going to cover in the next 20 minutes or so. And as I say, these are very, very general. I'm going to cover them very, very generally, and it may provoke more discussion. You might say, I know that in a way, or there might be other areas that you didn't know and you'll be able to learn from. But please do, you know, be in contact if you want any more detail in any of these areas or any more education. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is social posting. And this is posting on social media. Just to caveat that, I actually don't like separating social media from all the communication. Social media is so important now, it's so a part of everything that we do, that I just see it really, I just see it as media, I just see it as communication, I see it as all the same thing. I don't think there's a difference anymore, or there shouldn't be. So one of the questions that I always get asked first is, what platform should I be on? There is numerous news platforms, and you read all the time about Facebook's doing well, or Instagram's catching up, Snapchat's the way to go, Twitter, etc. So people ask me, what platform should I be on? I've been in PR basically for 27 years, and when I started in PR, there was no social media, and people used to say to me, which newspaper should I be in? Or which magazine should I try to get to? And then it was, which website should I try to be on? And now it's, which social media platform should I be on? And the answer's never changed. It's never ever changed. All you have to think about is this one thing, is think about where your clients or your potential clients hang out. And what I mean by that is, where is the attention of your clients? So some of the clients, I have various clients, but some of the people that I want to speak to are on Twitter, and they prefer Twitter. So I communicate to them through Twitter. In the beauty industry, I think maybe that Instagram's a place to be, because it's very, very visual. But you know, Facebook allows you to do longer posting. People have more attention span on Facebook than they do on Instagram, for instance. So what you've got to do, you've got to look at your own client base and look at the clients that you want, and thinking, where are these people spending their time? All these platforms now, they're all amazing. The algorithms are fantastic. They're all, you know, they all can work, but it depends where the attention is of your clients. The second thing that I wanted to is treat social media like a cocktail party, more so than ever now. I always talk about this. I talk about this a lot because I see so many people just get on social media and they just sell all the time. They just want to sell, and they're just spouting their message all the time. And I want you to think of it like a cocktail party, is that if you go into a cocktail party and you want to ingratiate yourself with other people, you want to meet other people, you want to be friendly, you want to go away and you want to gain some friends by it, you want to gain some attention by it, you don't go in with your business card in your hand and say, do you want to come to my clinic? No, you first go and say, hi, how are you? What are you interested in? You share commonality. And then at the end, you might go, oh, by the way, if you ever want, and then you give the business card. But you've got to build that up to that. You can't just go in straight away. And some of you are doing this exceptionally well on social media, but some of you are doing badly, that you're just posting and selling. One of the phrases that I use is, don't just post, host. And I'll come on to that in a little bit, but think of it as a cocktail party. Every time you're going into a social media platform, imagine you're going into a room full of people, some you know and some you don't know. The idea I want to talk about is planning and post daily. Posting daily, I'm going to start with, has become a lot easier because of the advent of stories on Facebook, stories on Instagram. Snapchat started this all off. And that allows us to be a bit freer with our posting, a little bit freer, and it's so accessible that I think everybody should be posting something daily across a platform. And the other thing that I think, you need to plan. You need to have a strategy. You need to think about what customer journey I'm trying to take people on through my posting. So I'm not saying you've got to plan the next 12 months. Some businesses do that. But I do think in this period, you should be thinking, okay, so we've probably got at least another 4 weeks left. Let's think about planning the next 4 weeks, the journey that we want to take people on with us. A couple of things I want you to remember is competition right now for organic posting, for natural posting without paid ads, is extremely, extremely competitive at the moment. People have now got time to post more than ever. So the attention span has dropped in posting and the competition is really, really high. Hashtags, I'm sorry I'm going through this really quickly, but we've got a lot to get through. Hashtags, some of you use hashtags well and some of you don't. Hashtags are very, very important. The reason I'm sorry if you know this, but the reason that we use a hashtag, everybody who's talking about that subject in that hashtag, you can follow. So if you want to use a hashtag like skin health, if you then search the hashtag skin health, everybody who's wanting to talk about skin health can follow that conversation. So instead of following a person, you're following a hashtag. And that is extremely useful for somebody who doesn't know you and is looking for experts, looking for people who's talking about skin health, for instance. So I think we should be using hashtags really, really well. There's lots of resource online that can tell you what are the relevant hashtags for you, what hashtags work, you know, the numbers that people follow hashtags. So go into Google and say, what hashtag should I use? And there'll be lots of tools in there to be able to use hashtags. The other thing I want to bang on about is I love to write. I really love to write. I write blogs. I love writing. But less and less people are reading writing. What we like is images and videos. So I've had to go from writing to try making videos. And I think you should do the same. Some of you do this, some of you don't. I can't remember the figures offhand. I should have had them written down. But it's something like 80–90% of social media consumption is now through video. So think about getting your face on camera and making videos for your audience. So that's social posting. Remember, don't just post, host. Treat the whole place, treat your environment like a party. You're hosting a party. So, bits of homework, social posting. If you haven't already, and I know many of you have, I want you to choose 2 platforms that you're going to focus on. Choose those platforms on where your audience is hanging out. And I want you to plan the next 10 posts. I want you to stop, get up in the morning thinking, what am I going to post today? Put an hour or 2 aside and plan the content for your next 10 posts. And also, I want you to research 10 relevant hashtags so you're already prepared. Okay? Right. Next one is join the conversation. So many of you, many of us, I've been guilty of this, just post, as I've already said. What I want you to do is search the hashtags and actually join conversations. I want you to look at what people are talking about online. So I want you to go onto your social media platforms and see who is talking about skin, see who's talking about treatments, see which companies are, which individuals are, and join those conversations. This is a really underutilized resource. Your clients, your potential clients, are currently out there talking on social media looking for advice. Are you giving them advice? Are you joining other people's conversations? I think you should really do it out there. I think it's really, really underutilized. When you join their conversation, again, don't just go in straight away and get your message, try getting the message across that you want to get across straight away. I always think, listen a little bit, see what people are talking about, ask them some questions, then comment and then advise. Nobody likes to know it all, where they're just joining into a conversation, say straight away exactly what the message they want to get across, then leave. So listen, ask, comment and advise. By all means, and probably if anybody listened to Andrew's webinar on Monday, he's a great diplomat. Sometimes you'll go in and you'll see people giving the wrong advice and you know it, or suggesting products that are not great products, or etc., etc. By all means, give your opinion, but be diplomatic. If you've got a clinic that's getting suggested, that's one of your competitors that's close to you, nobody wants you to go in and say that clinic's rubbish, or they do this or do that. Don't get involved in that. Be very diplomatic. Of course, express an opinion, but please be diplomatic in your conversation. So again, more homework. So I want you to search hashtags daily, watch and listen. As I say, entering a conversation with strangers, sometimes for some of you, may not be, you might need a bit of confidence to do that. So literally search a hashtag like skin health and see what people are saying. It's a really, really good way to understand what potential customers, potentially your audience is thinking about. And for the next 30 days, I want you to get involved in 5 conversations a day. Now imagine that's 150 conversations that you have been involved with and being able to express your opinion and shine the light on your expertise. That is fantastic. That on its own is so powerful. Just 5 conversations a day, the next 30 days. And all the conversations are there if you search the hashtags. Right. I was going to play this video, but we had a little practice and it doesn't sound very good. So this is one of my favourite TV characters here in the UK, Alan Partridge. And why I want to talk about this is just sums up the last couple of things that we've been talking about. At this scene here, Alan is just going to a funeral, and he is going to a funeral. He doesn't really want to be there. He didn't care about the person, but he's got his own agenda. He's gone to this funeral to meet the head of the BBC because he's a TV presenter. But while he's there, his phone dies and he's trying to make important calls at the funeral. And what this taught me about social media, what this emphasized and why I want to talk about this is that he enters a conversation just with his agenda. So he goes around and basically, it's back in the days where people used Ericsson phones, goes around just asking people if they've got a spare battery for an Ericsson, while this lady there is in complete grief because she just lost her husband. So I didn't want to play it because the sound is awful. So I want you to not to be an Alan. Don't just jump in and ask for what you want. With course from social media, we all have an agenda. We have an agenda from business that we want, but don't just jump in and ask for it. You can smell it a mile off. Be authentic in all your messaging. I will talk about authenticity quite a lot. Now more than ever, we see this. A story's come out this morning about Jose Mourinho, I can never say his name properly, taking his, 4 days ago, we had a news story that he's packing boxes, food boxes for people on the front line and people that are struggling because of the crisis. And then yesterday we see pictures, today we see pictures of him training his Tottenham team unofficially, and they're ignoring all the rules and not adhering to what we expect of people by doing this. So his authenticity has gone. It's really, really gone. You've got to be authentic in all your messaging. Be aware of the situation. Alan was not aware of his situation when he went to this funeral. There was people very upset about the person that they lost, and all he was bothered about was talking to the new head of the BBC, and also he's getting a mobile phone battery. So be really aware of the situation, the environment, the atmosphere that you're in, and be present. One of the other things that Alan does in this clip, you should go watch it, it's on YouTube. When he's talking to people who don't want to talk, he's literally looking over their shoulder. He's what I call glistening. He's looking over the shoulder, looking for the person he really wants to speak to. When you're talking to somebody online, they might have 1 follower, 2 followers, or they might have 15, 20,000 followers. Everybody is important. Everybody, be present in that particular conversation that you're having. Right, online paid for advertising. Okay, so many of you don't do this, and I understand why you don't do it, because it's a difficult thing to do. It's easy to get in and do it. It's easy to set up an advert. It's easy to just go on Facebook and boost the posts and everything. But it does take a bit of expertise to really develop a great advertising campaign. So a couple of things I want to talk about. There's some great news about this at the moment. It is so cheap right now. If you do have some spare money or some marketing money, put it online now for paid advertising. I posted a video last week for my Lifestyle Awards business, and I put a £50 budget on that video. And usually for £50, I would expect to get 10,000 views. I think at the moment we're at 55,000 views for that £50. So it's massively, massively undervalued. And remember, the rules with all of this online communication is, where is the attention? And the attention is online. So this is really, really cheap attention right now. The reason that is so cheap is because people don't feel as though they can sell right now. They feel as though they cannot sell. So the big advertisers have taken their money away from online advertising, but it's very, very cheap. As I say, it just need a certain amount of expertise to do this. Nothing that you guys can't learn. So what I suggest is go do an online course. There's lots of online courses. I think in my next slide, I'll show you one, but there's lots of online courses that can take you step by step through a process to help you develop an online campaign. the key is with all online campaigns is audience targeting. It's very, very easy when you post online, there's a boost button, just press boost, and then they target the audience for you. Very rarely does that work because it's too general. So the skill and the resource and the effort needs to go on the audience targeting. But that is, we can't really cover this now, but go and do an online course, it's there. But remember, audience targeting is key. I'm a real believer in this. Now is the time not to sell. And I know that's really, really hard. I think there's some things that FilmEd have developed and that I'm proud of that we can help you sell. And we're going to talk, we've already had some questions for our forum on Friday about what products are available for people to use at home, etc., etc. So we're going to cover this more on Friday. But in general terms, be very careful about selling right now. This is a time for brand building. This is a time for support. People don't really want to see sales messages right now, but they do want to see messages from you. And the final thing I want to talk about online paid advertising is it's about testing. Start off with very, very small budgets, and don't just do one campaign. Do lots of variables of that campaign with tiny, tiny budgets and see which works. See whether that's changing the image, the copy underneath, the target, the audience. Test, lots and lots of little campaigns. And when you find one campaign that gets traction, that's when you put more money behind it. But as I say, all right, I'll go to my homework page. Do an online advertising cost. I've spelled that wrong. Advertising costs. These courses, you probably only have to get a real handle on it. You probably have to do 2 or 3 hours. If you do 2 or 3 hours, you probably feel confident enough to know what you're doing to be able to go and advertise on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube and Google Ads, etc., etc. Go do one of those courses. The facebook.com business learn resources are fantastic. Right, newsletters. Hugely underutilized and not utilized properly. I love newsletters. I love newsletters as a marketeer. People think that people are always looking for the next best thing. And some of the older things are, just as valuable as they always were. And one thing that is hugely valuable is email addresses. So all of you on your website should have an email capture for the newsletter. The reason that email addresses are hugely valuable is, a further point is, people's attention span reading a newsletter is much greater than reading a post. So if you think about it, if you're on Instagram, you might start reading it thinking this is interesting, but there's another post underneath it that you're going to get to, or you're going to start scrolling. So the attention span for newsletters is greatly valuable. And the easy way to get newsletters to people is through email. So email addresses are so valuable. Many businesses are valued. One of the big values that they have is their database, is their email addresses and the open rates, etc. So please start collecting email addresses and start developing newsletters. They're a fantastic way of getting 2 or 3 messages out. So, the Faces newsletter, I hope you've all got the Faces newsletter from FilmEd. In there's about 6, 7, 8 different messages or things that we want to tell you, or things that we're thinking about. So it's a real good way of getting 2 or 3. Treat it like a front page of a newspaper. With a post, usually you can just get 1 message out. Open rates for newsletters have increased since lockdown. We've been in lockdown, I think this is the 3rd week, and looking at the stats, open rates have increased. So now is a great time. What I mean by that, you send the email out and it's how many people open the newsletter. For a good newsletter, anything above 20% is great. It's fantastic. And those open rates are increasing as people's attention span is getting longer. Again, please be, I could talk about this for a long time, but please be GDPR compliant. Have a look online, make sure that the way that you're collecting the emails, and make sure that you have got permission to send people's newsletters. I'm not saying break any rules, etc., but your customers and potential customers, I'm sure, would like to hear from you. Overriding rule is any newsletter, give value, and more value, right? Nobody just wants to be sold to again. You've got to be educating, you've got to be giving value, you've got to be giving offers, you've got to be giving things to the person that opens your email. It's a privilege for them to open your email, so make sure that you return in value. Newsletters homework. Right, so I want you to start a newsletter, and I want you to start, even if you've just got 2 email addresses. I consult with many people, and many are saying, oh, my database is only 50 people, there's no point sending a newsletter. Yes, there is. How do you think you're going to get bigger databases? Is if you don't give them the content. So please, please, please start sending a newsletter, even if it's to me, your mum and your dad. Just start it. And I want you to send 2 newsletters in the next 4 weeks. I think at the end of the month, I think it's 3 weeks' time, and we've got another session. I want to, by then, have seen that people have sent newsletters out. So please start sending newsletters. Give lots of value, but please send 2 in the next 4 weeks. Right, we're nearly there, guys. Thank you for your patience. So next I want to talk about direct messaging. This is so valuable, and none of you are doing it. You just don't do it, well, very, very rarely. I think it's the most effective thing you can do today. So if you think about it, at the moment, your business really only exists online. It really, really only exists online. And your clients are sat there at home and they're looking at their phones all day long, or a lot of the day. Please, 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 guys, this is a unique opportunity to get their attention and to make them feel supported. Go through who follows you and go and say, hi, how are you? Is everything okay? Personalize it as much as possible. Go and just write little, as though you're writing a text to a friend, write it to your followers. Personalize as much as you can. If you know the person, if you know the person's got children or has got a nan or has got a wife or husband, try and personalize it. If you don't know them that personally, still send out a supportive message. Just send in some love. How are you doing? Just interact with your audience, people that follow us. They follow you, so they want to hear from you. Message everybody who new followers, and I'm not so good at this, and I've got to start doing it better. Message everyone who follows you. They've followed you, which is an honor that they've followed you. Just message them back, just a quick message. Thank you for following. How are you? How are you? How can I help you? These are the times that people need supportive. I've, lots and lots of people in the same boat. They've not seen the outside world for a long time. They're not having that human connection. This is why these webinars, I feel as though, are doing well, because people want to hear people that want human connections. Do that with your followers. Direct message them. As soon as they follow you, direct message them. Go through your people and direct message them. So, homework. I hope you're writing your homework down, guys, is direct message at least 10 people a day for the next 30 days. So in 30 days, you'll have direct messaged 300 people, right? I can guarantee that will make you sales. It might not make you sales today or tomorrow in 30 days, but in the following 30 days, or when we get back open, that will help develop sales. It will develop relationship and the sales will come. My final point, my final big point is go follow. Okay, so when Instagram and Facebook and everything came to the fore and businesses started using it, or people started using it, it was all about the people who had the most followers would go to the top of the list. And if you followed lots and lots of people, like the gap between the few people that you followed and then you had loads of followers. Forget all that, right? Forget all that. Everybody loves to be followed, right? And at this time, what we need to be thinking about is not just keeping the relationship and improving the relationship with our existing clients, but how we can get new clients. And one of the things that we can do is simply by following them. So what I want you to do is look into your areas and look into who could be your customer. Look at businesses that your complementary businesses. So for instance, if your business is in a small town in Yorkshire and there's a couple of nice high-end restaurants there and there's a hairdresser's that gives a great haircut, if there's a gym that everybody that goes to the gym are all trying looking after themselves, Go follow their customers, because they could be your customers. So the lady or the guy that's going to the gym, he obviously cares about how he looks and how he feels. So he might like your services. So go follow him. He might then follow you back. And if he follows you back, or she follows you back, you can say hello. What greater way have you got right now of getting new customers or potential new customers? When they follow you back, make sure that you speak back to them. Make sure you say, thank you for following, how are you, etc., etc. Find something, you know, develop that conversation. I promise you, if you do this, you will get sales, you'll get more sales when we get open. So the last piece of homework, I want you to follow at least 10 relevant people a day for the next 30 days. And what I say relevant is the people that are following your complementary businesses. So if you're in a small town, or if you're in an area of London, for instance, people that follow that local restaurant, or that local bar, or that gym, that hair salon, people that have got, you know, that could be your customers. So I'm going to start concluding. Firstly, I and the rest of the FilmMed team are here to help you. We really want to help you. You're so important to FilmMed. The team that you saw at the beginning of Rebecca's slides, we're talking every single day on Zoom about how we can help our clients. So I, for one, I'm here. If you've got, some of you know this stuff that I've talked about, some of you don't, some of you know elements of it. Please, I'm going to give you my contact details. Please contact me if I can help or advise in any way, shape or form. Follow me, down, message me. I'll be delighted to help you. Building a brand and marketing has never been so resource cheap. And the reason that I say that is because suppliers are dropping their prices, advertising coming down, and you have never had more time. When you get back to work, when you open those doors again, I believe you're going to be inundated with customers. I think we're going to have a great second half of the year. I really do believe that. I'm confident in that. So now is the time to put all these brand building blocks in place in your marketing strategy and start building your brand and your marketing. I also think that brand should always become before sales. Salespeople without a great brand behind them have to work a lot harder. So if you don't develop your brand now, when you come to selling, when we're back open, I think it'll be more difficult. So now, please put your brand and your marketing first, and then the sales will come. Personalize your brand by direct supportive messages. This is hugely underutilized right across social media. Now is the time to really personalize. Make that person, make your customer feel important. Make your potential customer, make them sure that you're interested in them. And the most important thing is with branding and marketing is be patient for results. Now you have time. So as I say, we want to support you. If you want to follow me on any of these platforms, it's Jason J. Gale. Direct message me. I will happily message you back and give any support I can. Like the rest of the team, at FilmMed, we're just very eager to get you through this time and not just survive, but we really want you to thrive. Okay, thank you. I think Rebecca's here for any questions.
I certainly am. Okay, guys. So this is the point in time to use your chat button at the bottom if you want to send anything in the group chat. So I've got a couple of questions that have come through already, but equally I've got some that have been coming through on my WhatsApp as we've been going along and on my emails. So the first one for you, Jason, is what do you feel can be posted that is not business related?
Yeah, that goes back to the brand and the characteristics. So, you know, it's very difficult. If you understand your brand and what the characteristics of that brand, so I get asked this question a lot about, can I post a joke on my business profile? And if you present a business that does have some humor about it, if you are a relaxed business, if if you know your clients well and want to know them well, yes, you can. You can post things around your business. What I'd say is, is keep it in the characteristic and brand of your business. So I don't like, what really, really upsets me is if I see a very, very professional brand, it looks lovely, and then they post a rude joke or a joke with, you know, swearing in it. It's off-brand, it doesn't work, it's not good. So think about what your audience is. But of course, brands, the public want to see personality in brands. They want to see other things, not just brand message, brand message, brand message. But just you can do, but make sure that it's within your brand and your characteristics of your brand.
Brilliant, thanks, Jason. You've obviously struck a chord with people in regards to online courses. Is there a specific one that you would recommend? I know you've put on there about FilmEd, but is there a specific course you would recommend that they check out?
No, and I'll tell you, there's some great people, and it depends if you want to pay for courses or you want to do free courses. The free courses, if you go to the social networks themselves, like Facebook, I think I'll put the link up. The Facebook learnings is fantastic. So is LinkedIn, and they've got they're putting good stuff out there. If you wanted to pay for stuff, there's a guy who is an English guy based in America, I think he's coming back to England, called Chris Farrell, who has done some brilliant courses at Keep It Simplified. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of content. The reason that Chris Farrell is probably the only person that I recommend from start to finish, but a lot of, some of them, it's just about selling. They also just about selling. So you've got to pick and choose and see what fits for you. But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
Brilliant, thank you for that. And another recommendation, somebody's asking if there's anything in particular, that, like an app that you would recommend for posting videos and pictures to make them look as professional as possible, obviously whilst they're delivering themselves.
Again, you know, this is all just about care and consideration. There's a couple of things the apps they're all good, but it's all to do with the skill of the person using it. You've got to practice them. A couple of things that I would certainly recommend people doing. If you've got a limited budget, and you can't go to an outside creative source or creative company to make the pictures look great, go on to People Per Hour or Fiverr, okay? This is a big tip. People Per Hour and Fiverr have hundreds and hundreds of freelancers spread all over the world that very, very creative and can do these things for you. And you can literally get beautiful pictures created, beautiful images created for not a lot of money. So I would advise that. Pick your freelancer carefully and give them a little job before you give them a big job. But, you know, I would advise that. All the apps, to make the content look great, it takes, you know, most of them, it takes a bit of patience, a bit of learning, and also the skill, the technological skill of the person doing it. So I personally would find a Fiverr and go on Fiverr or People Per Hour.
Excellent. Yeah, I know that's what we do. Another question here, Jason, around the times of posting. So Nita's saying here she usually posts around 6 p.m. as more people seem to be online. What time is the best, and how many posts per day should we be posting without overloading people? And I suppose that's different to any normal time before COVID-19. What should we be doing now? Because obviously everybody's at home. So
what time is best goes back to my answer about what platform should be on. So the best time to put, it depends what your audience is, and depends on how they hang out. So it's a matter of knowing your audience, and it's a matter of testing. So trying to, you know, if I was consulting with a company that's trying to negotiate to talk to teenagers, I wouldn't be posting before midday. But if I'm trying to talk to you know, older people, yes, I would, because they generally get up early and they go on to, you know, go on social and they go online earlier. So it's a matter of testing. I try and avoid, and I'm very general about this, because I don't, when experts say post at 12:30 on a Tuesday and you'll get a maximum of 10, forget all that. It's rubbish. It depends what your audience is. But having said that, for the majority of the people I work with, I try and avoid Monday morning, because everybody's stressed on Monday morning, whether you're a mother at home with the children or father at home with the children, or it's you're back in the office. Monday mornings, try and avoid. Nobody wants to, you know, I think that is a difficult time. And the other time that I try and avoid is between 4 and 7 on a Friday. 4 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Understandable.
because everybody's just thinking about a glass of wine. That's generally what I felt, but they're the only two. The rest of the time, it's about testing and trying to find out what suits my audience, see what the engagement is. And do you know what? If all of you, you're in very personal businesses, think nothing of sending a text out today and say, guys, I'm just thinking about my social media the next 4 or 6 weeks. Can you tell me? Send the text out to your friends and clients. Can you tell me about your social media habits? Ask them when they're online, how much, and they will give you that information. I do this quite often. I check into people and say, can you tell me what you're doing about this, and get the feedback. And then you can think, okay, so my clients and my friends, they're online mostly when they've just put the children's dinner on the table or when the children are having their hours exercise outside. See if there's a pattern. Go and test it with your friends.
Excellent. And in relation to the social media sites, what do you know about TikTok? And do you think it's something that will be useful for our industry and our businesses?
Oh, wow. TikTok, yeah, TikTok is killing it. It's absolutely smashing it. And it is going to be, it reminds me of how Snapchat was about 7 years ago. Everybody thought Snapchat was just for the young. And then what happened with Snapchat, that just, it went right across everybody started using Snapchat. And then Instagram stories came along and took away a bit what Snapchat was. TikTok is going to be massive. Okay, and what we all see, most of us have seen TikTok as the very funny dances or people singing and miming and everything like that. That is the majority of what we're seeing from TikTok, but it's not everything we're seeing from TikTok. I personally,
sorry.
To say I think TikTok is a great behind the scenes app. So you've got your beautiful clinic, et cetera, but you have fun outside of that. You have fun with your team, with your staff. I think TikTok is great for that, to give personality. But before I start using TikTok, go and have a look through it for a couple of hours. Don't just look at the great footballer or a pop star doing their TikTok. Go and see what other people are doing. There's some what we would call normal sort of posting on there as well, normal type videos. So yeah, I do think it's going to have a large point to play because I do think the attention of our clients is going to be on TikTok. So get yourself registered and start learning about TikTok. Start learning about it because that's where attention will be going. Wherever your client's attention is, we've got to go.
Brilliant. Okay. And then final question, I think, Jason, for now anyway, is how can I generate some revenue at this point in time while my business is closed? Okay,
so we're going to talk about this on Friday. We're going to be talking about this because I know there's been a couple of questions that I've been sent on Friday. Filmed are putting things. Go back to the slide that I said we will work with you. So when we no, I'm not directing you, Rebecca. Sorry. Everybody is listening. You're in a business now where we will work with our clients. So you've got to be able to think about, usually they come into the salon or the clinic and you do the procedure and then you send them on the way and they feel confident and look beautiful. Now you've got to be able to give them the resource to be able to work them through this. So I think what's some of the questions that's going to come in, there's packages that we can send to your clients' homes that you could do, the clinics that are listening now, your clients trust you. So you could do an instruction video, you could do a demonstration video, and then we could support by sending them the products to actually do that treatment, etc., etc. So I think we'll discuss this more on Friday, but it's a matter of educating your clients through it, but providing them the product, and you can make some money out of the product. I think that's the way.
Brilliant. So I've just got another message coming in. Somebody's asking, is it a good time to start a brand right now? So obviously if you're new to aesthetics and this has just happened at the time where you've sort of been about to start your brand or your clinic, is this a good time to start it?
There's never ever been a better time in history than starting now. And the reason is that most people start a business and unfortunately their passion is for helping clients. And that's great. So I'd use the one word, unfortunately. But what they neglect is the building blocks of the business. And one of the main building blocks is the brand and the marketing plan. And now you've got time to do that, because you're not going to be able to open a clinic in the next 4, 6, 8 weeks. You know, we've got to wait till the high street is back open. So now is a great time to thinking, right, what is this brand going to look like? What am I going to do? What's my marketing plan? You've got time to do this. And if you're thinking about that, I think it's an ideal time. It's a perfect time. You can even, if you've got a few pounds, you can even start your brand awareness program with some paid advertising, and you'll be amazed how many views you can get if you get the content and the audience right.
Well, that's good news. We have actually had another couple of questions pop through. So at the moment, Lisa, she's gone back to the NHS, so she doesn't have a lot of time to be focusing on her business, but obviously she does want to keep things going in the background. So out of all the homework tasks you've given today, which one would you suggest is going to have the most impact?
Well, was her name Lisa?
It is.
Lisa, thank you so much for getting back to the NHS while we need you, so thank you for that. I would say the direct messaging of your clients. I would say that's the most important thing, because you are super busy, you're going to be super exhausted. So direct messaging, that's what I would use. I would use that, and even sending a message saying, guys, I'm not going to be as in touch as much as I'd want to be, because I've gone back to the NHS, but I just want to say that I'm still here for you. I think that's a hugely valuable message. So that's what I'll be spending your time on, Lisa. Thank you.
Brilliant. And then Chris is also asking, he's got 3 different locations for clinics. Do you think it's a good idea to have separate marketing for each of the clinics, or should it be done all together?
I think by the sounds of it, maybe because he's asking the question, the clinics might be spread out. I think you should have brand marketing over the top, but you should have some localized marketing underneath. I don't really believe in lots of different using different platforms for different clinics, etc., because I think it becomes very, very difficult to manage, and you end up not putting enough resource into the platform. You just do a little bit in each one, and I don't think that's the right way. I think it's very, very difficult unless you've got a big, big marketing team. So my advice would be, keep everything under one roof of the brand, but try to bespoke your messages with the things like newsletters and things like that. Separate those databases for the local clinic, for the individual local clinics. There's a chiropractor in southwest London called, forgot the name, but if anybody wants to message me, I'll think of it, I'll send it. They do it very well. I think they've got about 6 clinics. And they have this whole brand marketing, but they seem to personalize it very, very well for the individual clinics. So I will send you that example, Chris, if you want to send me a message.
That would be great. Well, thank you, Jason. I'm just going to share a couple more slides to finish off, which is just talking to you about a little bit more about what we've sort of got coming up for the rest of the month. Now, if anybody does want to receive things like the newsletters, you can pop us an email, or you can inquire through the website. We can send you all the links to the histological faces newsletter that we send out every other month. There will be one coming out this month as well. So long as you're registered and you've ticked to accept marketing, you will get that. Jason is back with us on the 27th of April. He's going to be talking to you about preparing for the comeback of your clinics. Obviously, as he's mentioned a few times, he's really open to having one-to-one webinar chats with your clinics if it's of use, and really just to share his expertise. Sorry, I should apologise as well. Should have got to take this right back to the beginning. There was no sound at the beginning, so I do apologise for that. We'll have that sorted for Friday's webinar, which is accessing our experts. So you're going to have a full forum panel, which is, we've got Dr. Philippe Hamida-Bazal, Debbie Rainbow, our nurse practitioner, Andrew Hansford, our skin quality expert, Jason, our business expert, and myself, all ready to take questions from you in relation to anything that is industry specific. So please do join us on Friday and get booked via our website if you haven't already. Here's some of the other training that's available. You can pop these all into your basket as you're going through on the PhilMed website and book more than one at once. Now, just to reiterate, we've got some really positive support coming from our global company as well, PhilMed Direct, based in Paris. I just want to try and separate the 2 websites here. We've got philmed.com and then philmed.co.uk, which is the support we're giving to you now, based in the UK. The philmed.com website are also hosting webinars pretty much every day. And in fact, today they've got one on at 5 o'clock Paris time, which is, they're an hour ahead. 4 o'clock our time. Took me a while to work that out. So 4 o'clock our time for medical practitioners only. So I think the key message here is that for medical practitioners, there's some additional support from our .com website, which is the global support team. So we've got international speakers on there as well. So please don't miss out on those. And most of all, thanks guys. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again on Friday. See you later.